Hello, everybody, and here we are again, Jay. Can you believe it? November's done, December's now here, Christmas is just around the corner, and now we have the November sales stats for real estate.
Hard to believe how quick this year has popped by, hasn't it?
It's been quite an incredible year. Lots of changes in the mortgage space and lots of activity going on, especially in Edmonton in the real estate space. How about you tell us a little bit, Jay, about what happened this past November?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So, you know what? Par for course for 2024. We got a little bit of drama going on here in this monthly update. So, inventory is down to 4506, which you're like, that's crazy, right? Like we went from 5125 in October down to 4506. We're talking about a 12% drop in inventory. Um, there's a few factors to talk about, I guess, around that, but the reality of it is we lost 12% of our listings here in November. How does that look for our sales? So what did our sales do? And that's another interesting number. So 23% drop, 1,920 sales in November, down from 2,489. Huge drop. We've noticed it actually in the market for sure. Buyers have gone a little quiet. There's a few factors to talk about, I think, around that as well, right? So we had an election month. And we had some other sort of underlying factors, a little bit of fear. And so there's a little bit of breaks that happened here in November, coupled with less listings. That's what happens. How abnormal is this though, right? Like, does this normally happen in November? And so we kind of went back and looked at a little history. You know what? 2023, we were down 9%. 2022 was huge, down 29%. 2021, down 3%. So really, it's like sort of these big changes, and depending on what's happening, does really affect the November numbers. Now, it is typical that we're going to see a decrease in October, November, December. Of course, the other factors will tell us like how big the drop is and why that is. Super interesting in my mind, isn't it, Josh?
Absolutely. So, sometimes it's a bigger drop than others, but it seems to be consistently a drop going into November from October. But I remember
Yeah.
going over these numbers with you before we record here, and the year to date story, if we're looking at what's happened for the year as a whole in 2024, there's kind of an incredible story in there, isn't there, Jay?
Yeah, there totally is. So here we are. We're still up 18 and almost a half percent versus 2023, which is huge, right? 27,000 sales. And if we look at these other numbers, like this is massive. So 2021 was really big at 24,000. Then we dropped down 23, 21, but boom, we still jumped up here to 27,000 sales. So the market is still very healthy. There's still lots of momentum, lots of movement, as we can see with this big change. So I guess the other question is like this related. That's the sister of this is like the day on market. Like how long have these houses taken to sell? So 41 in November of 24, up a little bit from last month, but still down from 23 at 46 day on markets for our detached homes.
And we've been seeing this trend, right, Jay, for all the property types over the last several months. The current month has been slightly longer than the month before, but in all
Yep.
cases, it's been quite a bit shorter than a year before.
Yeah, and they're these numbers are all healthy. They're fine. I don't have any alarm with them at all, right? Like 32 day in market for a semi-detached in November versus 39 from last year. 39 was a good number, right? But here we're
Yeah.
already down. So we keep, as you can see, we're shaving off year over year the day on market, sort of 37 for a row house versus 42 a year ago, 48 versus 54 for apartment condos. So the day on market is doing exactly what we thought it would do. No big changes from October, and the trend is on point here. So no big change, right?
And so that brings us to, sales numbers are down, but how about the prices, Jay? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so the rate of change here in Edmonton from this month versus October of 24, we're down 1% for detached, still very healthy, 14% year over year gain. Semi detached, we're down, just over 1%, still up 8.6 for the year. Row houses have had a big change, down 6.8%, still a healthy 3.6% year over year. We had some big transactions in the row house that kind of fluctuated that number up, but now we're going to find, we're going to be back to normal here, I think, in December for the row house. Apartment condos up a small 0.7%, but we're still up a huge 19% year over year. So those are, again, really interesting numbers. So what does it look like for detached homes? Look at par for the course, right? So we're gone like from 495 sort of to 505. We're right in the middle. So it's kind of like we're hanging out in this 500 number. This is totally great. Looks fine. Nothing to see here. Semi-detached 402. Story looks similar, doesn't it? Right? 410
Yeah,
was
it's
a high,
all
or 413.
yeah, it all looks to be kind of over the last 6 months, pretty stable prices. Maybe on semi-detached,
Yeah.
it's slightly less, but stable is not a bad thing considering how many sales have been happening in Edmonton. For prices to be stable, that actually works really good for people who are trying to get into the market.
Yeah. Yeah. So townhouses 290 again, right? No huge. It is a bit of a difference from that 311 down to 290, but it's still gonna in the mix. It's just gonna be fine. So apartments, we're at 183,000, and this is again really stable. It's been interesting to watch this apartment market here. So that's really the update. So in my mind, I think the story really is like, if you're a buyer, there's a little less to choose from, but there is a bit of a slight price advantage right now, and I would take advantage of that. And really, it's kind of par for the course. And let's see what happens here. I think we'll see in January a little bit of hesitation till the government switches over down south, and then we'll see what's happening, and then we'll be able to take off. Spring market is setting up really nicely, and really that's the update for this month of November.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Jay. So if you're watching this and you've made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. We do try to bring new information to you every single week. We bring these monthly updates for the values on real estate sales every single month. If you like this content, please click on subscribe, hit that bell for the notifications, maybe drop a comment, and make sure you watch our next one next week. Thanks so much, everybody.